Hello and welcome to my long procrastinated video about my 1,400 and something toy soldier collection. Now, I have announced this video like a month ago and now I'm finally gonna do it. So yeah, I have a little mat set up and some terrain so that it doesn't look like a bland little table. And yeah, make sure to subscribe for more amazing toy soldier content and gaming videos and all sorts of stuff. I do a lot of stuff. It's called multitasking. Maybe you should look at that. If you like military history, here's my book. You can search it up on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description. I have a lot more books, so once you just search up your name, you can see all of my books. It's about World War II from the German perspective, and if you like toy soldiers, then here's the Flag of Freedom rule set, which is like a little wargaming rule set. You can play with some miniatures. Now here are the rules. How are we going to do this? So we're going to do it from earliest to newest in the timeline. So the first one we got here is the medieval ones, of course. They are in the timeline of warfare and all that caca. This is the oldest it gets for me. And I got these guys here, blue. And I got some black ones down there. Look at the detailing and the painting. I also bought myself this little castle here, and you can open the gates up from behind, and these towers have little holes in them, and on the walls you can put people on the walls and on the towers, all that good stuff. And here's a little diorama with all of the medieval guys battling out with all the accessories as well. As you can see, we got a bunch of medieval guys fighting at the gate of the castle. And you can see you can put people in the tower, and there's a little ladder so you can climb up on the walls. You can put defenders on the walls, and there's people on the towers. And a bunch of different accessories here. And catapults that actually shoot. And I wanted to show you that I also have some medieval cavalry. Not a lot, but enough for both sides to have a little elite knight force there. Yeah, pretty cool. Next up is the American Revolutionary War. You know, the usual stuff they teach you in American history class. We'll start with the smallest amount, and that is the French infantry. There's only 10 of them, and you can see they have their tricorn hats. I don't know what they're really called. But, yeah, some pretty normal stuff. Then we got the 16 Hessians right here. I love the block and I love their uniforms a lot. I think these are like the German mercenaries that Britain brought over to help them. But yeah, you can see that this is very nice detailing from BMC. I think these are recasts, I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of variety of poses for both the French and these Hessians. So you can have some foreign mercenaries and foreign armies helping out. Here's the whole diorama with the British and the colonists all out here. Some of the British have big fur hats, and the others just have the usual tricorn hats. So yeah, it's usually mostly the same poses repeated over and over again, except for the big hat guys. But yeah, the American Revolution. I have some officers here. So first of all, we got a light blue George Washington, and then we got a dark blue George Washington, and we got this white Lafayette guy, and then we have a light blue version of him. And for the British, we got this Cornwallis guy in a bright red, and we also got another Cornwallis, but this time in a darker red. And yeah, that's the whole American Revolution. Next up, we have the American Civil War with the Union and Confederates. For officers, we have this light blue Ulysses S. Grant right there. All this from BMC, by the way. Then we have a dark blue Ulysses S. Grant, and then, you know, Charles E. Lee. Wait, no, Robert E. Lee, sorry. Robert E. Lee, and another Robert E. Lee, same color. And here's the Union Army, big and chunky So we got some Marks recast right there from their playsets back all the way. We got some classic toy soldier molds, some SCS, yeah, molds, which are the really small ones. I don't like them, but yeah, they actually make up a lot of this Union Army right here. But I do really like the Marks ones. I like how realistic they are. And yeah, there's officers, Union Army. And I also got these wagon driver guys. I don't think those guys are riding the horses correctly, but yeah, you can just put them on wagons, which I also have and all that. Alright, so now I have the little scene we set up, but now I also added the cavalry. Here is some cavalry general guy on horseback, and then we have a bunch of Union. A lot of these are Marks recasts. And we also got some BMC toys and I have one SCS direct one with the binoculars over there. But yeah, very nice cavalry. Very nice, the blue, and it matches with the rest of the army. And yeah, that's my cavalry. And here is the Confederate army. It's one figure bigger than the Union Army if you count officers and cavalry and everything. But yeah, a lot of SCS direct. We also have a couple Marks and a lot of BMC toys in there. And right here we got the cavalry over there. We got some people getting shot. We got some people with guns. A lot more SCS direct cavalry than the Union has. Next up, we have the Wild West. I didn't actually put all my Wild West figures on the table, but yeah, 6 poses for each side. Each side. Yeah, a bunch of cowboys, a bunch of Indians. 6 poses for each side, and that's pretty much it. These are really cheaply made plastic I got from Amazon, so don't expect much from these dudes right here. Next up is like the late 1890s when Britain was in Africa and in Egypt and Saudi Arabia and in those areas. So I got a British officer in khaki and then this cranberry red Arabian officer looking guy with his pistol and sword. And here's the rest of the army. We got the British infantry over there in the khaki with the officer looking very nice. This is from Armies in Plastic. I intend to do a review of these guys later, but right now I'm just gonna give an overall view. And here are the Arabian warriors, looking pretty nice. Next up is World War I. Another 2 Armies in Plastic sets. We got these Germans with the Pickelhaube. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that, but those type of helmets. I don't know. Then we got World War I British. You know, the usual World War I battlefield you see in the movies and stuff. Alright, here is World War II. We got World War II Germans. A huge, very big army. We got a bunch of officers, and then they got a tank over there. The barrel broke off, that's why it's not there. But yeah, there's a little tank commander you can put on the tank. You can take them out too. But yeah, I have a whole lot of different World War II Germans from a bunch of different companies and a bunch of different sets I've bought over the years. And yeah, here's World War II Japan. We got a bunch of katana or whatever Japanese sword they're holding. And we got a whole bunch of Japanese from 2 different sets. One BMC and the other is Matchbox clones, I think. And this one is a bunch of World War II Italian infantry. Yeah, those are it for those 2. Then we have the World War II Allies all on one table. We got the Americans right in the middle there with a couple officers in the front. And then we got these British guys. And then we got a Sherman tank, American tank right there. And over here we got the Russians and a Higgins boat. Next up are the generic army men, which is what you see at Toy Story and all the regular army men basically. So we got the blues here. Then we got some greens that I painted. So yeah, some painted greens. Didn't do a very good job, as you can see. I painted quite a couple of them, as you can see. Then we have some generic reds and some generic grays. The generic grays and reds and some of the green are pretty bad. They're from Amazon. But yeah, just some poorly made ones. And yeah. Here is the two biggest generic armies right here. We got first up the generic greens, multiple different molds and stuff, a lot of green. I have a lot of green. But yeah, I have them all scrunched up in there as my generic green army, and then the generic tan army all right on over there as well. So yeah, those are my two biggest generic armies, I think. And the generic green is actually the largest army out of all of the armies. It's not even the generic ones, but of every single one of them. And with that, we have reached... I have shown you all of my army men. And here's the grand total on the screen of all the army men. I know it's not big compared to other people's army men collections, but yeah. That is what I got. Thank you for watching. Get my books, they're in the description. And yeah, have a great day.